Hey friends, Judy here from An Aussie in a Kiwi World. It's April the 6th, 2023, and I believe this is episode number 12, could be 11, maybe 12, I'm not sure. The month is sort of just come and gone, and now here we are in a sort of a third of the next month. Hope everybody's well. The weather's been great for you, whether it's been cold or hot, and you've sort of managed to stay cool or warm. And the weather here, unfortunately, is very overcast outside and raining, which is just like a normal autumn going into winter day here in New Zealand. So it's been a month, just over a month, and I don't know where March went, but I do have some really exciting news, and that's my daughter gave birth to a very beautiful baby boy on the 8th of March, and his name is Finlay Patrick. Any surname, of course, but that's his first two names. He was it was amazing to actually see the birth. I made it up there to be able to join in and see the amazing. I just can't believe how wonderful a woman's body can make things happen. And I know that I've had children myself, but from the person giving birth to the one that's actually watching is a total different experience, and I'm very privileged to actually be there to witness him being born. So he wasn't a very tiny baby. He was 11 pound 6 and 56 centimeters long, so quite a big boy. I will pop a couple of photos up here if you haven't actually seen in my Facebook group any of the photos where I did announce he was born. This will give you an update of what he looks like, and I know I'm a little bit biased, but I think he's gorgeous. So for those that don't work in pounds, he was 5,180 grams, I think it was. A big boy. So but everything was fine. Had a couple of days in hospital at about day 7 or 8, just with jaundice and things like that. Lost some weight, and as babies do, but he had a very bad case of jaundice. A couple of nights under the lights, and he is totally now fine. So I will pop a few extra photos at the end of this video of him if you're interested to hang around and have a look. And lucky enough, I am actually being able to go up and spend a few days with them this weekend for Easter, to be able to have some more cuddles. So yeah, I'm very much, my heart has been swallowed, I think, by the love that I've got for my grandkids, and each one we have just ignites everything and all the feelings that you get for having grandkids. So I'm super excited about seeing him grow and things like that. But that's not why we're here. We're here for some cross stitch. So let's get into some cross stitch, what I was working on last month, and I've got some haul, what I've been working, what I plan to work on next month, and yeah, I've also been doing some crocheting. So at the very end, I'll make sure I can show you what I've been working on. So okay, lots of ums. It feels like I'm a little bit out of practice. It's only been 4 or 5 weeks, but never mind, let's get into it. So as most of you know, I was actually having a month for Frog March, is what I was trying to call it. So I was only going to work on projects that had frogs in it, and for the majority of my month I did just work on frogs. There was a couple of other projects that I worked on that didn't have frogs in, but they were just sort of a bonus, and obviously some crocheting as well. The downfall is that I did spend quite a bit of time nursing my grandson, so I didn't get as many stitches as what I would have really liked to, but I have got some new starts and some frogs to show. So without waiting any longer, so I've got lots of stuff that's actually sitting over here on my left hand side, so I apologise if I keep looking away or I go out of the screen a little bit, but that's where the majority of my things are. So the first one that I worked on was my Mandala frog, and this is from Neni Designs from Etsy. They have lots of different animals that are actually in this mandala style, and I own a few of them. But this, I just love this frog, and as I've been stitching it, it's just been so much fun with all the different colours and things like that. So that's the mandala frog. And I don't believe, I don't know a lot of the fabrics that I'm actually been stitching on, but for those that sort of know me, I'm pretty much a Aida stitcher. Most of my stuff is on Aida, and this I believe is a 22 count, and it's from Colour Cascades. It's called Underground King. So this is the mandala frog where I'm up to, which is not much, but some is better than none. So I sort of just started, with the metal and then worked my way out. So I'm hoping that I've counted correctly and everything's all in line where it needs to be. So that's the mandala frog. I love this fabric. It's actually a beautiful piece. And I'm probably going to have quite a bit of waste because that's as big as the frog gets, is what you can see. So I will try to find a couple of little ones and just put them at use this fabric up, and there's plenty of room down the bottom as well for some more. So I'm sure I'll find a couple of little frogs that I can pop on there. Awesome. So that's the first one. These things on the ground. Okay, the next one I've got is another Etsy one purchased from bobbin.com. So this is from bobbin.com, not Etsy. The designer is KS Patterns Cross Stitch, and it's frog gnomes. Sorry about the glare, but 3 little frogs, and I've just started in the middle with the little baby frog, and this is my progress. So I love that smile on the frog. It's so cute. Oops, cover my face so it actually focuses. Yeah, it's actually really cute. It was sort of, I picked these fabrics. I'm hopeless actually when I try to choose fabrics. And this project, so this is the piece of fabric, which is a beautiful, nice pink apricot orangey sort of blend, and this is from Paddock Lane Designs, the fabric. But look how little that project's going to be, so I could probably even cut it down like that by the time I get the other 2 on, and it's going to probably be within my fingers just here. So I've got all that extra waste. I need to learn how to make sure I've got fabric that is small enough that I can just fit that on there, or that I position it on the fabric so that I know that I'm going to be able to use the other part of it. So it's quite a bit of wastage. And then I go from the other extreme of cutting the fabric too small and half my design's not going to fit, but I'll tell you about that later. The next frog that I have is Iris in Love Designs, which is frog art, and this is the gorgeous pattern with the nice big glasses. I love this pattern, and I've now just purchased another one, which I don't believe, sorry, I have pulled out to be able to show you, and it's a very similar frog from a different designer, which was a bit weird, but is actually pole dancing, so he's sort of hanging on this pole, which is really cute. I'm sure you'll see it in an upcoming video. So that one's frog art. This one's a little bit boring, but I've only just sort of started on the black, and this is how far I have got so far. So this here is just his arm. See if I can. So that is the arm coming down here, or that one. Yep, that one. And then coming into the black across his chest. So I just thought if I start on one of the big block colours, it'll be easy to then move on. So yeah. Okay, and the next one is Tree Frog, tree frog is from Happy Little Mouse, and that is this design. This is really cute. I love the colours, they're really bright, and this is done on a black Aida. I've actually done it on, I believe it's not black, it's like a dark grey, or it's a charcoal. But this is my progress, and obviously as you can sort of tell that it's frog's legs with his body. So it just pops on this fabric, and it was hard to put this one down, but I didn't have much time to stitch, so I sort of just got as much done as I could and what was within the Q-snap that I had. So yeah, this is going to be a fun one to continue with. For those that may not remember, I did mention at the beginning of the year that instead of focusing on how many stitches I'm doing for every year and trying to keep track and things like that, I'm literally just having it so that I've got a start date of when I started the project, and I will have a whip parade at the end of the year and show you where I am with each of the projects. I won't possibly have a total amount of stitches that I do, because I'm trying to have less stress with keeping track of those things. I'm not in any games anymore, so I don't have to worry about counting, so I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm stitching. So the next one is a Joe Lynch from Heaven and Earth Designs called Frog in Blue, and that's this one. This is actually quite a nice design. Now I've got this on an 18 count pink Aida, and you probably won't be able to see that it's pink from there, but it is actually a really nice pink colour. And this is the start that I've got. Now where I am on this pattern is, let's see if I can hold both up together, is I have just started just down the bottom, just here, where that blue part comes down on his leg is what you see just here. So that's Frog in Blue. Now that's a sister piece to the other frog that I've got, which is it's all reds and pinks, yellows, oranges, and I have shown that in a previous video, but next time I show that pattern with my update, I'll try to have that one out as well, so I can show you that one. Now this is Who Let the Frogs Out, and I don't know how I'm going to go with this thing through. Now this photo for to have this advertising for this pattern, I don't believe it's the best. White on this green fabric, as much as I love the fabric and I love the pattern, I just don't think you can see the pattern very good on this fabric. So I've changed it and put mine on pink. And this is by the Heartstring samplery. It's called Who Let the Frogs Out. There's a few, I think there's 4 designs in this range so far. I've purchased all of them, and I'll just do them over time. So this is where I'm up to. So it is just a duplicate. You can see the same, it's the same pattern in each of the corners. So that's all I've got to do is now just work my way around and duplicate the pattern on there. But this is a lovely stitch. It's actually quite fun, and it's nice to take to like a stitching get together where I don't have to focus too much on changing colours or making sure I've got the right colour. I can just start stitching and go from there. So that's actually really fun. Awesome. That's Who Let the Frogs Out. The next frog one is my Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is Kissing Frogs by Lynsi. And I'm just doing the black before I start any of the green. And I haven't had much progress on this one. However, I have filled in, last time I had actually had it, I just sort of had pretty much had the outline of the head. I will try to put a before photo up here so you can see the difference. But I had a big hole gaping in the head, and I just had the back outline here. So I've worked on the wings, I filled in the head, and then I'll try to just fill in this black part of the body here to make sure that I can get some good progress, and then I'll move across to the frog. and fill the frog in. So this is quite a nice design to stitch on, which is really cool. And of course it's a frog, so that makes me really excited. Okay, so there's a couple of projects that weren't frogs that I worked on in the month. And the first one was the Craft Co Bumblebee line, and that is this cute little design. Now when I say little, I actually didn't realize how little this pattern was. So that's me again, not knowing fabric or sizing and things like that. So I'll pop that up there, and this is my start. So it's not very big, and I've got it on a, I believe it's an 18 count, just a white aider. So it's quite tiny, but it's enjoyable all the same. So who doesn't like to stitch a bee? I was actually trying to find a little frog design that I could sort of pop a little frog on here as well, but maybe I might just put a maybe attach one, possibly might be the best option. So that is the Bumblebee line, and of course all of these I will actually pop onto all the details down below, so you've got all the details there if you need to try to source them. If not, just pop me a message down below and I will try to answer it the best I can. Okay, so the last one that I worked on for the month was just an ad hoc thing. One of the lovely viewers in my cross stitch group jumped up and said, did you know about the sale that's being done? And it's from Silver Creek Samplers, the Singer Sampler series, and it's the Do Re Mi, the 4 patterns. Now I will pop a photo on this side of how I'm actually going to stitch mine. People have actually stitched in all different ways, like you've got people have put them all like along this way where it's all just one long project. I'm actually going to do 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. So before I mentioned about cutting fabric, I'm useless with fabric, and I'm the kind of stitcher that I've gone from when I need to check a piece of fabric, I will sit there, hold the middle, and I will count diagonally or left and right, whichever way I have to do it, up and down, to make sure that the fabric's going to fit the amount of stitches that's required for the pattern. So I've always been like that, and sometimes it's been a pain because I spend so much time trying to count the stitches that, yeah, it just wastes time. But anyway, the other day I was stitching on the project and it was all good. When I was putting it into the I moved the Q-snap and I put it into the Q-snap, and there was heaps of fabric on the outsides, and I was like, this is so annoying trying to hold all this fabric together and trying to pull it in. And I know you can use grime guards and things like that to try to keep your fabric in there, and I know that there's these little bandy things that can go around the Q-snap to hold the fabric. These don't work when you've got lots of fabric because it doesn't touch the actual Q-snap, and sometimes it doesn't hold on to the fabric. But anyway, that's my experience. So I thought, oh, what I'll do, I've got plenty of fabric either side, I'll just cut it. Well, instead of being the person like I previously was and count the stitches to make sure I had enough to go across, I just cut it, thinking, oh, that's plenty. It's like if I double what I've already done and just cut it there, we should be fine. Well, I put it on the Q-snap and I literally had this much fabric to try to hold on to the end. It wasn't fun, and it actually really annoyed me, but the good thing is it fitted, so I didn't lose it. So this is my start for these patterns. Now I'm changing it and doing a colour conversion that's actually been done by someone else on Facebook, and I have her permission to share those details if you would like to see what those the DMC colours are. Now the actual pattern, they use different, they use Gentle Art, Weeks Dye Works. I'm transferring mine all through to DMC, so I'm just using DMC to the best that I want to do in whatever colour that I like. And all the words that come with this, if I just hold this one up, all the words that come with this pattern underneath here, like doe deer, female deer, I am actually going to I am going to do those in the same color as what I've done the main ones, but I just wanted to do the main outline first to make sure it was going to fit on the fabric. So this is the start that I've got, and the unfortunate part is I need to fit the word sing here, S-I-N-G, and it's going to sit out to about here, and that's going to annoy me. So I'm going to undo all of that top line and either change the, I think on one of the, there's another alphabet that's inside the pattern that's only a smaller lowercase alphabet, and I don't know whether I'm going to change it to that, or I'm just going to go back to here and try to pull these ones across to give less space, and hopefully you can still read what the wording says. So when you know the notes to sing, hopefully it'll fit. Or maybe if I make this W come across here just that tiny little bit, maybe a couple of stitches, it will then fit only a couple of stitches out the other side. But we'll see, and I'll undo where I need to do, I'll frog it. But I absolutely love the colours on this, how the colours come, and I'll pop a picture up here if I haven't already, like I mentioned, of how the other person has actually stitched it, and I absolutely love it. The colours are bright, the way that it sits is beautiful. It's in a big enough size once it's stitched to just frame and pop up on a wall, rather than having to find a real specific place to store a really long one or quite a tall one. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's going to be a work on all the time if I can get to that. Now, one of the projects I didn't get to, which I really wanted to, and it was supposed to be for a start for a sale on the 31st of March, so my apologies for the noise, was my Charting Creations Frog Pond. Now this is, a few of my friends have actually already started this, and I will start this in the next sort of, maybe after Easter. I've got the fabric and all the flosses, but that takes me into, let me just branch out a little bit here. In the month of March, as I was grabbing projects and new starts and things like that, there were a few that didn't have the actual floss in there in the container, so I had to obviously get it out of my stash, and I'm in the process of transferring all my bobbins onto floss drops, so which is actually really exciting to have that, but it takes such a long time to actually be able to do that. And you can probably just see here the start of my floss drops that I've got there. I've got my husband to put a curtain rod up there, and I've got them on the rings, and I'm just going to hang them from there. It all sounds very wonderful, and I love the fact that they're all up there so I can see the colours and things like that. However, I've had to put that up quite high because, as you can see, this is a fireplace that's just here, which doesn't get used, so it's just a waste of space. But it does have a shelf that has frogs and my Tweety bird and things like that right across it. I've taken a photo of that wall and I'll pop a copy up here. But because I'm in that whole transition stage of having some on bobbins, some on floss drops, I want to just work from a major set, a master set, is that what they call? A master set of DMC on floss drops. And I'm halfway in between that. So I've got some of these that I have out next to my seat that I can use. And every time I've picked up a cross stitch pattern this month or in March, the numbers that I needed were not the ones that I'd already transferred onto floss drops. So I had to come back in and grab them from one of my containers. So these are the containers that I actually currently use, and I've had these for many years, so I don't believe you can buy them anymore. Not this same design anyway. These are from J&P it's from J&P Cross Stitch. And what it is it's got a plastic little tray that you can pop your things on, and then inside, hopefully you can see this properly, inside it's actually got two trays that will actually fit 450 cross stitch bobbins. That's how it's meant to be. I don't believe you can fit 450 in there if you've got a full skein of DMC, a full skein of a floss on each of them. It's quite squashy, but it depends. If you do it really neat and that you make sure that you wind your bobbin flat each time, maybe they will all fit. Mine didn't, but anyway, so I've got 4 of these that I fit all my bobbins in, and each time that I have to come and try to go through them, they're in number order. I have to go through 4 boxes to try to find floss. So I tried to use some of the month of March where I couldn't do cross stitch for me to actually pop some stuff on, pop some bobbins onto the floss drops, and hopefully going forward I'll be able to just grab a couple of the number sets from here and take them out to the lounge and definitely have a number that I'm in the, that I'm working with in the pattern. Just for out of curiosity, if I can ask you to pop your comments down below in relation to floss drops. Like, I've made my own floss drops and they're certainly not as beautiful as Lindsi's from Blushing Pink Stitches on her Flosstube, the ones she makes and sells in her shop. They're not as gorgeous as anywhere that I've really seen. All I have done is, I'm just going to pull one of these off. I have just grabbed some pretty paper, scrapbooking paper, and used a punch, and then punched it, and then obviously put an extra couple of holes in here. This is for your main floss, then you've got one for the little extra threads and one to sit on your ring. So on the back I've just got a little paper sticker so I can write the DMC number on there so that it doesn't rub off from the laminate, because I've laminated them. So I have all these pretty little ones like that that I've just done in all different kinds of paper. So I think these are sturdy enough for me to do them, but I don't think they're going to last forever. I don't have a bank account that's going to allow me to buy lots of nice, the thick ones that you see that people have, and I'm not even sure what they're made out of, plastic or whatever they are, but unfortunately my bank account doesn't actually allow me to do that. Although it could probably do that, but I would have to stop buying other stuff to be able to do that, and I have so many DMC colours and other floss that it would cost me an arm and a leg to try to get them all onto floss drops. So what do you use for your floss drops? Do you just use card? I do have some that I've just made out of just thick card, and then I just write on there. I've obviously used these ones that I've just shown. What sort of things do you use when you make them yourself? What sort of fabric do you use to do that? So if you could maybe just pop some information down below, and it might help me to actually come up with a better idea of how I can do it, because these ones take a little while, having to do quite a few steps. These are easy, but they look pretty tatty. Yeah, and I'd like to actually eventually get them all very uniform. So excuse me 1 second while I just pop out of the shop. So there's a lovely company here in New Zealand called Orderly Stitching, and they do everything that you can sort of think of to do with cross stitch labeling and things like that. I'll pop their details down below if you're interested. So they, excuse the wrapping. So they do all these little cards, which has got the colour of the floss, the DMC, the name of what it's called, and I actually ordered these with the intention to use these as floss drops, so I didn't even have to worry about labelling them. They were all labelled, they had the name and everything like that, which would have been perfect. I was going to just put my hole punch down the bottom here. My problem that I've got is that they're actually quite flimsy. See, and I don't believe that they would suit with me pulling threads off and things like that. I don't know whether they would last, and I don't want to have to laminate them, cut the holes out and laminate them. So I love the fact that this is already color coordinated, all the numbers are on there. That's perfect, and that's the whole reason why I bought them like that. but I need to come up with a different way of how I can actually use it without them breaking or ripping at the bottom. So your suggestions would really be appreciated. So just putting it back in the box. Okay. So first of all, some happy mail, and then I will move on to some haul that I've received in the last month. So last week I received, or it might have even been the week before, I received a beautiful parcel from my friend at North Island Stitcher, Nicole, and I'd purchased some fabric. Where she works, she has access to obviously all different kinds of fabric. So I purchased some frog fabric, which is really gorgeous. So I'm going to make myself, or try to make myself, some project bags out of this. So that's really gorgeous. And then I actually asked Nicole to, well, actually she found some bee fabric and I asked her to make it for me. So I paid her to make this bag because she is very clever and she makes lovely bags. So this will fit my 11 by 11 Q-snap easily with all my floss and everything in it if I need to. And then because of the puppies, she's put some puppy print in the middle. So along with that bag, she sent through some really, really cute things. So I got a Alice in Wonderland little fob, which is gorgeous. So that might sit on my scissors or on a bag, either way. It's beautiful. A little egg ornament. Now I'm not actually 100% sure what this is. So Nicole, if you're watching and you can let me know what it's for. I don't want to sound like I'm blonde in any way. But yeah, other than that, it's actually really cute and it can sit on my little shelf just here to be an emblem for a bee. Then I'm not 100% sure what it is, so my apologies. Some little buttons, and for me to pop onto my projects. They're just like little bees and honey skits, and then some bees there. A magnet, which is of a little book, which is really cute. And one of my favourite things, I've never owned one of these in my life, and I'm so excited to actually own one. Probably more excited because of the fabric that she's made on it, which is Alice in Wonderland fabric. How amazing is that? In my favourite colour. And it holds bobbins in the middle for projects. Now I know I am transitioning from bobbins across to floss drops. However, that will take me quite some time to do that. And if I've got a small project that has just got bobbins and there's enough to fit in here, I will just keep using them on bobbins until I finish that project, and then utilize this as well. I absolutely love it. It's actually really, really cute. Another bonus that come with that parcel was Nicole's daughter, and I won't mention her name, but Nicole's daughter has been learning how to make project bags. So she made herself this project bag, which is the same project, the pattern that is the material inside my bee bag that Nicole made. And on the inside, it's got a darker fabric of puppies. And how amazing, her daughter actually gifted me this bag. So she made it, and it's perfectly made. Like, if I can make it as good as this, I'm going to be one really, really happy lady. So I am so over the moon that she was able to gift this to me, and I can't say thank you enough. So thank you so much for sending this up for me, and you know who you are. I have organised something to come back in the mail for you, and hopefully you enjoy what you receive. You probably won't get it till after Easter now with postage, but yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's amazing. So this morning before I started work, I had a knock on the door. It was the courier man. So I had ordered some project bags from the lovely Judith, who makes them here in New Zealand. We have some very, very talented ladies here in New Zealand that make bags. So I opened up the parcel, and the parcel obviously wrapped in a courier bag, and inside was some more frog fabric that Judith had found when she was over in Australia. I'd seen this at one of the shops over there and messaged me and asked me if I'd be keen, and I said, yep, definitely, if I can have a meter. Now, I have this lovely fabric, and I have lots of fabric that I've bought over the last few months because I want to learn how to make project bags. I don't know how to make project bags, and I've got now a new hobby of collecting fabric everywhere I go. So as soon as I see that there's frog fabric, I buy it. I don't know when I'll be able to make project bags. I don't even know whether I'll be able to make a project bag. But Letitia, Christine and Shona, we're all going to get together and learn how to make crochet bags, learn how to make project bags. Those ladies probably already know how to do it. They're actually very skillful. I don't, and I'm going to be a very new beginner, but I'm going to learn. This is another frog fabric that I got as well, which is beautiful. It's quite cute. Okay, so in the parcel this morning was this fabric. Also in the parcel were some project bags. How beautiful is this fabric? This is a purple flowers with what looks like dahlias maybe. I'm not very good with flowers, but I love this fabric. When Judith put it available, I could not help but say yes please. It's got a gorgeous blue fabric in the middle, and it's got a little zipper pull, which is like a little flower. See that there? So inside that bag was another bag, and Judith does quite a bit of fundraising for a place called the Outpour Rescue, and they have cats or kittens. I think they might rescue lots of different animals, but it's mainly cats because Judith's a cat lover. So to raise some money for her fundraiser, I actually purchased this little needle book, and it's got obviously the felt in the middle to put my needles on. I'm always losing needles, so that will be really, really handy. A little notions bag out of the same fabric. So this is actually Rendell fabric, for those that know. It's a nice little notions bag, and it's got a little flower for the zip pull. And then inside there as well were some little floss blings. One for a Christmas one, which has got Santa Claus, and then the little ivy, and then Alice in Wonderland with the little rabbit, and they both got rabbits, so just in a different style stance. And this one I've actually got a pattern that's very similar to that, so that will come in very handy. So those, and two more project bags. So snowmans, which is really cute, and it has, I love how Judith actually matches up all those zipper pulls and things like that, so they all look very like they're meant to be, as far as I can see. So inside is just a plain red, which is really cool. Excuse the zip. And another one for the Golden Girls is this one. So it's got a nice little emblem, thank you for being a friend, on the front, and all different kinds of Golden Girls on the back for the panel. It's got a nice pale blue inside and a little silver flamingo for the zipper pull. But see how the zipper is exactly the same as the bag? Yeah, I'm just super impressed. and I love her bags. So that will probably be maybe bag number 15 or 20 that I have. I certainly do need to learn how to make my own bags. But another bag that I bought from her as well, because it's actually got Alice in Wonderland on here with the Cheshire Cat. This is a vinyl bag, and it's great for to be able to put some things in. Might even be like a toiletry bag I could use it for. But it's quite really cute. So it was another one that was actually for an outpour as well. So you get this little tag that Judith's put on there to tell you what the washing instructions and things like that are, and who the money's going towards, so which is really cool. Okay, and I got a nice little card that said thank you for the purchases, which was really cute. So just before I give you a couple of shout outs and my plans for the next coming month, is I just want to show you my crochet. Now this is not finished, so hopefully you'll be able to get the gist of what it's all about. So my daughter's best friend has had a little boy. He's just turned 1, and I promised that I would actually make a blanket for her. Now I have actually made a blanket for Holly, and unfortunately she lost her mum a few years ago to cancer, and which was very devastating. She was only very young. So I made a blanket, and I will put I'll put a photo of that blanket that I made for Holly up here, which is of her mum and Holly on her wedding day. And now, because she's obviously had a baby, I thought, well, I can't just not give her make a blanket for the baby as well. So I haven't gone to as much detail as I did in her blanket, that one I've just shown you, but I did just create one that's got dragonflies. So hopefully against my shirt you'll be able to see. Just dragonflies just here. So there's panels of that all along, and then what I've done is halfway down I've actually put his name. So just a blank one there, then I've got E, then an L, then an I, then a J, A, and an H. So his name's Elijah, if you were quick enough to spell that. So this is the blanket all together, and we've got 4 panels down the bottom with the dragonflies, 3 panels in the middle that have got his name, and then obviously there will be 4 panels at there. I've just done the 3rd one at the moment, so that will hopefully be finished tonight, and I can gift that to them on the weekend when I go up to see them. So I love crocheting, but while I'm crocheting I keep saying I want to actually cross stitch, and when I'm cross stitching I want to actually be crocheting, so I'm torn between the two. So I have quite a few crochet projects up and going at the moment, but they get put aside and they take forever because I cross stitch more than I crochet, but that's fine, no problem at all. Okay, so just a little bit of plans for next month, for April. I'm just going to grab whatever sort of takes my fancy. I've been in March I've been making those changes with my floss drops. I've also been making some changes with the way my storage is. So I used to have all my projects that were current whips in big 60-litre tubs, and I was really confused about what I could grab, and the same ones seemed to come out all the time because I'd like the bag it was in or whatever, and I'd just grab it and it was easy. So I've now put them into the tubs, and I'll take a photo and pop it up here. I've put them into tubs with a variety of different kinds of styles of patterns or whips that I've got, and I've decided that at the beginning of every month I'm just going to grab one of those tubs. Now in each of those tubs there is possibly 20-25 projects, and I'm going to try to work on every one of those projects. Now I may not get that, but I'm certainly going to try. And it will give me a variety of what I stitch on. So there's no plan on what I'm going to stitch on. I will just grab a box, and then as I've stitched on it, I'll pop it back in the box at the other end, and then I'll know and be able to keep track of the ones that I've worked on to be able to show on my next Flosstube. So it's very exciting to know not know what I'm actually going to be stitching on. It'll be just as when I pull it out, The ones that have actually got, like my full coverage ones, there's probably only 6 or 7 in a box, and which will give me plenty of time to be able to do a good chunk of stitches on each of them. So I really just need to get back into stitching lots as much as I can, and get more stitches in, and try to avoid spending most of my time cuddling the baby. So luckily he is an hour and a half away from me, and I'm not there every day, because otherwise I'd never stitch again. I would just constantly be nursing him. So before I go, just a couple of shout outs that I wanted to actually put, in case you're not watching them, and I hope you are. The first one is, I'm just sitting in front of my work computer, so the light that when it keeps flicking on and off is because my monitors are actually going to sleep, but I've got it written up on my monitor here, so I didn't have to worry about looking down. So the first one, and I've mentioned her before, is Lauren at Stitching by Loz, or Lauren, but it's in Avocado, because as we all know, most people go there to see Avocado, because she's like the star of the show, but it is definitely Lauren in Avocado that I go there to see. And it's with, I'm doing a stitch along with Lauren. Well, I'm supposed to have started a stitch along with Lauren on the 1st of April, called Tree Frog Trio. I'll pop a photo up here. Everybody's probably seen this pattern. Most people have, and possibly most people have got it. So I've purchased this pattern twice, and the main reason why I know I do have it is because I have seen it twice in my stash, and I was sort of going to keep the second copy to be able to give away for a giveaway on my channel. So I've turned my craft room upside down, inside out, and I cannot find not even one copy of that project. So Lauren, my apologies, I haven't started yet, and I know you have, but I have ordered the pattern again, and when that arrives I will get started so that we can have that stitch along. Yeah, so my apologies, I'm going to be a bit late on that one, but go and have a look at her channel. She's got some amazing projects. Her Avocado is just amazing, and so's Lauren, so check her out. The other one, there's 2 more that I've actually been watching, and the first one I've just found today. Her name is Lynn, and she's at Those Missing Stitches. She's very easy to listen to. Some projects that she's currently got is The Fruits of Plenty, which I've got as well. She's got an Amy Stewart bookshelf, which is the Grand Library, and she's done 2 complete shelves of that, and it looks absolutely amazing. And also a couple of projects that I really love and I do own as well but haven't started is the Andrew Border from Unconventional Cross Stitch. They're an Australian company, and I'll pop their details down below. She's got The Perfect Love I Never Had and The Night We Broke the Moon. 2 perfect projects that I just absolutely love. So go and check her out. She's a lovely, easy to listen to lady that you'll be able to sit there and stitch and not be interrupted by any extra noises or anything like that. It's all about just stitching, and yeah, so check her out. First time I've only watched her today, so, and today was her first video that she's had out, so yeah, give her some love and watch and subscribe. The third one, oh my god, this lady is a hoot. She makes me laugh every time that I watch her video, and I've actually gone back and watched the last one twice because I'm so amazed by her intro that I've actually reached out and asked her if she can help me with some of her skills, because I definitely need a little bit of fun like that at the beginning of my intro. So this is Becky, and she's Becky Got Craft. She's bubbly, she loves Ada, she's even got a singlet that says she's team 18 count Ada. I love that, and I'd really love one of those for myself. She's got a Guardians of Galaxy project that's nearly finished, and the colours that are in it are really vibrant. It's quite a big one. And she's also doing the frog trio from Cross Stitch for Everyone. I have those frog patterns, but I haven't started them yet. And she's done quite a lot of the black, so you can definitely see the pattern coming on that one, and it's amazing. So check out those 3 people. I'll put their pardon me details down below, and you can share the love. If you've got anybody that you've watched or you found lately that I may need to see, please pop their details down below. If you've got any questions, please do that. I do actually have a Zoom channel that I'm going to try to open up, and the hours are currently between 8 and midnight New Zealand time. Now I know that's not so good for some people, because people obviously have to work or they have to sleep. Believe it or not, we do actually have to sleep, ladies and gentlemen, as much as we'd like to cross stitch as long as we can. So I will open up that after Easter, the weekend after Easter, I will open up that Zoom room for the whole weekend, so that I think you can do it for the maximum of 30 hours. So I will try to time it so that the hours are open for people to go in there, and I'll mention it in my I'll mention it in my Facebook group when I'm going to open that, so that everybody's got the details, the link and everything like that. If you want to come along and stitch, feel free to. You could possibly meet some new people in there, make some friends, and I may not be in there for obviously the whole 30 hours, but I will mention when I am in there, so that people can pop in if you're awake or you've got time to. It'll be great to actually meet and put a face to the people that I chat to on a regular basis. So I just realised that I was actually really rude and didn't say thank you for coming back to watch me, and now I've made you sit through my whole video, which is nearly an hour, and I'm only just saying thank you. So thank you for those people returning. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate you coming back and supporting my channel. For those that are actually new and this is the first time that you've actually seen me, I hope that you do actually enjoy what you see. Pop back and maybe see a couple of my previous videos to see other projects that I've got and how crazy I am with the amount of whips I have. I do have a coffee link down below that if you're interested in supporting, that's mainly just for postage and things like that when I do my giveaways, which go right around the world. I have had a lovely generous person that's actually donated twice, 2 months in a row. So I just want to say thank you to her. She knows who she is, and I haven't got her permission to say her name online, so I won't do that. But please know that I do appreciate the fact that you have bought me a couple of coffees for the last couple of months, and that has gone towards postage for sending some things through. So thank you very much for that. Okay, I think that's me. So just under an hour. And that will probably be about the length of my videos going forward, because of them being monthly now. If I can come in before sort of within the month, I certainly will. If not, it will be on a monthly basis around the first week of the month, that you can come back and see me again. But if you click the bell, you'll know when I've put a new video up. You'll get the notification. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to put a couple of photos up, or a few photos up, of my new grandson Finley, and I will also pop a couple up of my other grandchildren, so that it's not just all about him. I do love every single one of them exactly the same. So I'll pop a couple of photos of my grandchildren at the end. So, okay, have a wonderful Easter. If you celebrate Easter being for the reason that it's actually there for the religious reason, I should say. I'm not someone that follows religion, but I do believe that there is some other powers, and if you follow a religion that, albeit everybody each of their own, and if you do follow it for Easter, then may you have a blessed Easter. If you don't follow it and you're all about the Easter eggs and the bunnies, then have fun with eating the chocolate and playing with Easter bunnies. So I'm out of here. Have a wonderful month, and I hope to catch up with you again soon. Take care and happy stitching. Bye bye.